Welcome to the Imagine That YouTube channel. Imagine the Earth was flat, but really, not just the kind of flat Earth you see in conspiracy videos, but a genuinely pancake-shaped world, stretched out like a cosmic dinner plate, floating through space. Let's imagine for a moment that you walk outside, look around, and instead of standing on a giant spinning globe, you're living on the surface of something more like a massive celestial frisbee. How would that actually work? First, gravity. On our round Earth, gravity pulls everything toward the center of the sphere. That's why you can walk around the planet in any direction without falling off. But on a flat Earth, gravity would behave very differently. If gravity still pulled toward the center of the disk, then only the very middle of flat Earth would feel normal. The further you walk toward the edge, the more slanted everything would feel. Rivers would flow diagonally, buildings would tilt, and eventually you'd be walking uphill just to avoid sliding off into the abyss. Life near the edges would be impossible unless you enjoyed clinging to walls like Spider-Man. Of course, some flat Earth theories dodge this problem by suggesting gravity doesn't pull downward at all, but instead, the whole disk is constantly accelerating upward through space at 9.8 meters per second squared. That might solve one problem, but it creates another. How do you explain the moon, the sun, and the stars above? If the Earth is flat, then where exactly are they sitting? Would they also be hovering disks above us, like glowing lamps on cosmic strings? Speaking of the sun, this is where things get strange. On our round Earth, day and night happen because the planet rotates, exposing different regions to sunlight. But on a flat Earth, the sun would have to circle above the disk like a spotlight. That means the edges of the disk would experience weird patterns of light. The sun wouldn't set so much as shrink into the distance, fading like a lamp moving away. Nights would be dim, not dark, because the sun would never actually go behind the horizon. It would just look smaller and smaller, like watching a drone fly away. Now imagine the seasons. On a spherical Earth, the tilt of the axis creates summer and winter. But on a flat Earth, how would you get changing seasons? The sun would have to spiral in circles above us, moving closer in summer and farther away in winter. That would give you blistering heat near the middle of the disk and freezing cold at the edges. In fact, the edges might be so cold and harsh that you'd get giant ice walls surrounding the disk. Yes, exactly like the ones flat Earth believers love to imagine. Basically, Antarctica would turn into a massive cosmic fence, keeping the oceans from spilling over the sides. But let's talk about those edges for a moment. What happens if you reach them? Do you simply fall off into space? Do you hit some kind of invisible barrier, like a giant glass dome? If there really were an edge, imagine the tourism industry. Come see the end of the world. Hotels, roller coasters, and selfie spots overlooking the cosmic void. Of course, governments would probably build fences or military bases to keep curious travelers from plunging off the side. Imagine international conflicts over who controls the edge and its resources. Or worse, smugglers and thrill seekers sneaking past to throw things into the abyss. And then there's the sky. On our round Earth, the stars appear to move because we're rotating on our axis. On a flat Earth, the whole star field would have to spin above us like a giant planetarium ceiling. But if you traveled far enough across the disk, you'd notice the stars don't look the same. The southern hemisphere wouldn't exist as we know it. So constellations like the Southern Cross would vanish. Navigation, astronomy, even GPS satellites, all of them rely on a spherical Earth. On a flat Earth, they'd be useless. Air travel would turn into chaos because flight paths across a disk would be nothing like the globe we know. And let's not forget about space itself. If Earth were flat, how would rockets work? You couldn't orbit a disk the same way you orbit a sphere. Satellites wouldn't circle neatly around the planet. They just fall off the edges or crash into the sky dome ceiling. That means no internet, no weather forecasts, no communication across the disk except by very long cables. The modern world would look much more like the Middle Ages, only with skyscrapers leaning at awkward angles toward the middle of the Earth. So could humans survive on a flat Earth? Maybe, but the society we know today definitely couldn't. Science, technology, and global travel would all collapse under the bizarre physics of a pancake planet. Instead of a connected world with satellites and international trade, we'd probably end up as isolated civilizations clustered near the middle, where gravity feels normal and the sun's light is reliable. Venturing too close to the edge would be considered suicidal, or maybe even sacred, with myths about gods living beyond the wall of ice. In the end, the idea of a flat Earth sounds fun for thought experiments, but it would make reality almost unrecognizable. From tilted oceans to impossible star patterns, from collapsing global systems to epic ice walls, a flat Earth would be far stranger and far less livable than anything conspiracy theories ever imagined. So the next time you see a globe, be grateful for its curves. Because if our world really was flat, life would be not only uncomfortable, but nearly impossible. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please subscribe on our channel. See you on next video.